8th graders. Let's do a short review on parallel lines cut by a transversal. So in the example I have here, we have lines L and M. These are the horizontal lines that are parallel, meaning they have the same slope. They will never touch. It's important to note that line L is parallel to line M. It's important that they state that. Line T is our transversal, or our cut. And we have labeled all of the angles with just a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You may also have angles labeled with 3 letters, the middle letter always being the vertex. But just for ease of talking and trying to keep this video short, we're just going to use numbers. All right. Now we've got 6 different relationships I want to talk about here. First relationship is corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are angles that are in the same relative position and are congruent. So for instance, angle 1 in this group of 4 angles up here, angle 1 is in the upper left. Well, if we look at the group down here, angle 5 is also in the upper left. So they are congruent, and they should look the same. They're both obtuse angles. All right, so angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. Our other pairs, angle 2 corresponds to angle 6. They are congruent. Angle 3 corresponds to angle 7. They are congruent. And angle 4 corresponds to angle 8. They are congruent. All right, remember the congruent sign is an equal sign with a squiggly above it. All right, next relationship, vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent, and they are formed when 2 lines intersect and they're across from each other. They form that X shape. So for instance, angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical. All right, they form an X. They're on opposite sides of the X. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Angle 2 is vertical to angle 4. And then down below we've got 5 and 7 and 6 with 8. So 5 is congruent to angle 7. Oh, forgot my angle sign. And angle 6 is vertical to angle 8. Therefore they are congruent. All right, vertical angles are my favorite. They're easy to see. They form the X, they're on opposite sides. Alternate interior angles. All right. These are angles that are on the inside of the parallel lines, like 4 and 3, 5 and 6 are on the inside, but they are on opposite sides of the transversal. So for instance, angle 4 is an alternate interior with angle 6. That means they are congruent. So angle 4 is congruent to angle 6. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 5 because they are alternate interiors. So 3 and 5 are alternate interiors. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 5. All right, and the trick for alternate interiors is they form a Z. All right, if I were to, I don't have a marker. Well, no, I don't. All right, angle 4 and 6 are on opposite sides of that Z. So see how my pen is tracing a Z here? All right, 4 and 6 are on opposite sides of the Z. So the Z shape is the trick for alternate interior angles. Now alternate exterior angles. Exterior means they're on the outside of the parallel lines. So like 1 and 2 are on the outside. 8 and 7 are on the outside. Alternate means they're on the opposite side of the transversal. All right, so that means angle 1 is an alternate exterior with angle 7. All right, so they are congruent. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. Angle 2 is an alternate exterior to angle 8. So angle 2 is congruent to angle 8. All right. Another relationship that we didn't deal with too much this year, we touched on it for maybe a lesson or so, is consecutive interiors. These are angles that are on the same side of the transversal. So like on the right side, like 3 and 6, and they are on the inside of the parallel lines. Now, the special relationship between 3 and 6 is that they are supplements. They add up to 180. So consecutive interior angles add up to 180. So angle 3 plus angle 6 has to equal 180. They're supplementary. And angle 4 and angle 5 are consecutive interiors, meaning they also add up to 180. All right. Now there's also supplementary angles all over the place here. Anywhere where you see a line formed, like 1 and 2, they make up a line. Those are supplements. So angle 1 plus angle 2 has to equal 180. 4 and 3 form a line, they equal 180. 1 and 4 form a line. Angle 1 plus angle 4 equals 180. And angles 3 and 2 are also supplementary, meaning they add up to 180. Now there's 4 other pairs of supplementary angles that I didn't list here. All right, that has to do with down here. All right, 5 and 6 are supplements. 8 and 7 are supplements. 5 and 8 are supplements. 6 and 7 are supplements. I'm not going to write them down. You guys don't need me to do that. All right, so these are the 6 relationships that I want you guys to remember. These will pop back up when you take geometry in a couple years. So as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email or shoot me a comment on our Google Classroom.